Hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Koron Pierre, and if you don't know me, I'm a life coach and your relationship guy. Hopefully, we can work together in the future. Now, before we get started, please take the time to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon so you get all your notifications, and then like the video so more cool people can check out the video. Now, let's talk about it. So, I have a video queued up here. And what we're going to talk about is what is love? Now, last year, I did a video on love, and we're going to update it because I feel like at the time I was being too philosophical and I really didn't see the biological aspect of what love can be. So I'm going to play this brief little insert. So actually came up with a definition, okay? So let's get into it. So I wrote, romantic love is an active state of being, keywords, an active state of being, not a feeling, all right, that is altruistic, whereas two partners exhibit unconditional care or concern for each other while truly accepting their partner for who they truly are. And you could say that regardless. So, a couple of things I wanted to touch on. Hold on, let me get it all out. This of who we want them to be. So this is not something that is coerced. We're truly accepting you for who you are. That is powerful. And we're choosing to love you. That is deep. So I find that to be the best definition that you can get for love. I also have here another key component for this love state is understanding each other and learning to improve in this understanding while growing older together. Now, the second part of the definition, I definitely agree with, growing old together, growing in your understanding. That means you are growing together, and that is definitely key. So this video is not completely wrong. I don't want to be too hard on myself, but let me go in the description. You see, I wrote down this definition here, which is what I read off. The problem that I have, it's multiple problems that I have with this video. First off, when we talk about altruism, when we look at it from a scientific perspective, it is not feasible and it will lead to the extinction of any species. So biologically, it's not advantageous for you to be altruistic because altruism is truly it's actually a part of selflessness, which is something that I speak about. If you watch the video, I'm not going to play the whole video, but if you go through some of these love videos that I did, let me see if I could pull some up. Let's go to the playlist. So this is my relationship advice playlist. And I had like 4 videos on love. These videos are actually really good. Check these out. Does He Love You? Parts 1 and 2. And I also did a video, Love is Blind. That's also another good video. It's just the definition needs to be tweaked a little bit, right? So when I talk about altruism is something that I say, and I believe probably in the Love is Blind video, possibly in all these videos. It's been a while since I listened to these videos, but I talk on the fact that I try to separate altruism from selflessness. And altruism is a selfless act, right? So you can't separate it. And I was trying to separate it because I was saying it's reciprocal. So once it becomes reciprocal, it is no longer altruistic. So we're just going to kick that altruism word out of here because it doesn't fit what I really was trying to say about what love is. Also, I said that love is not a feeling or it's basically not an emotion. And that also isn't true. Love is a set of emotions. That's something I had to let go because, like I said, I was coming from a philosophical perspective. And even like back in my college days where I used to consider myself to be the love doctor, I used to say how love is something that never ends, like it's forever. And we both know that that's not true because people grow apart. And the love that you once had, the things that kept you together no longer seem to work. So yeah, that's where I was coming from with that whole feeling thing. I was trying to like put love on the map, or not on the map because it is, but like on a pedestal, right? And then another thing too, I kind of hint towards is that whole unconditional acceptance bit. First off, there's no way you can unconditionally accept someone in a healthy relationship because your relationship is based on conditions and things that brought you guys together. So we can't act as though now I'm just going to completely accept everything you do to me, because then that will lead to accepting someone's toxic behavior as well. So that's where I was coming from with the unconditional thing. Love is definitely conditional. So we're going to update love. So now, being that we're going to update and correct ourselves, let's give a more modern definition of what love is, right? So I got this from a pretty good source. And it says here, love is a set of emotions and behaviors characterized by intimacy, passion, and commitment. It involves care, closeness, protectiveness, attraction, affection, and trust. Love can vary in intensity and can change over time. It is associated with a range of positive emotions, including happiness, excitement, life, satisfaction, and euphoria. But it can also result in negative emotions such as jealousy and stress. See, so when you go back to this video, I'm trying to romanticize love, right? As it's something that is just perfect. When the truth is, it's just a set of emotions. And when you look at it from a biological perspective, right? It's really more complicated than that, because indeed, love is an intense attraction that involves the idealization of another within an erotic context, also with the expectation of enduring for some time into the future. So that's not for forever, right? And these range of emotions trigger certain chemical reactions. So love definitely has influence over us, but it's not based on the fact that what I was trying to present. I was trying to make it as if it was this thing in the sky that magically brought you together. And no, the truth is, love has its negative emotions attached to it. So I want to break love down into 3 categories when we talk about the biological or chemical reactions that love provides. And attraction, which is influenced by dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. Lust, which is testosterone and estrogen. And then attachment, which is oxytocin and vasopressin. Now, I don't want to make this too long, but I do want to touch on a little bit on all 3. So lust typically is something that gives us some sort of gratification. And it's like the introduction of our relationships, because it's the first thing that we notice. Lust is driven by the desire for sexual gratification. The evolutionary basis for this stems from our need to reproduce, a need shared among all living things. Through reproduction, organisms pass on their genes and thus contribute to the perpetuation of their species. Okay? So this is why we lust for each other. Another thing is attraction. And attraction seems to be a distinct, though closely related phenomenon. While we certainly lust for someone who we're attracted to, and vice versa, one can happen without the other. Attraction involves the brain pathways that control reward behavior, which partly explains why for the first few weeks or months of a relationship, it can be so exhilarating and even all-consuming. Dopamine, produced by the hypothalamus, is particularly well publicized player in the brain's reward pathway. It's released when we do things that feel good to us. In this case, these things include spending time with loved ones and having sex. High levels of dopamine and related hormone norepinephrine are released during attraction. These chemicals make us giddy, energetic, and euphoric, even leading to decreased appetite and insomnia. which means you actually can be so in love that you can't eat and sleep. Ooh. In fact, norepinephrine, also known as noradrenaline, may sound familiar because it plays a large role in the fight or flight response. And this kicks into high gear when we're stressed, and it keeps us alert. The brain scans of people in love have actually shown that the primary reward centers of the brain, including the ventral tangential area and the conduit nucleus, fire like crazy when people are shown a photo of someone they're intensely attracted to, compared to when they show someone they feel neutral towards. So, I just wanted to give a little insight as to what's going on when we talk about the three categories of the chemical reactions that we experience when we love, right? So I just want to talk about attachment for a little bit. So now attachment is the predominant factor in long-term relationships. While lust and attraction are pretty much exclusive to romantic entanglements, attachments mediate friendships, parent-infant bonding, social cordiality, and many intimacies as well. The two primary hormones appear to be oxytocin and vasopressin. Right. So oxytocin is often nicknamed the cuddle hormone. For this reason, actually, we talked about that in the Pillow Talk episode, which was episode 6 of the 100 Things a Man Wants series. Definitely check that video out. I actually talk about that. So for this reason, like dopamine, oxytocin is produced by the hypothalamus and released in large quantities during sex, breastfeeding, and childbirth. This may seem like a very strange assortment of activities, not of all which are necessarily enjoyable, but the common factor here is that all these events are the precursors to bonding, and it makes it pretty clear why having separate areas of attachment, lust, and attraction are important. We are attached to our immediate family, but those other emotions have no business here. And let's just say people who have muddied this up don't have the best track record. So what's going on? We have different chemicals reactions due to our experience in love, and it just allows us to experience it to the highest degree. And I just want to add something too about vasopressin. Vasopressin is the monogamous hormone. We have an influence of that as well. That also keeps us together. It also binds us together. So that's a more practical, realistic definition of what love is, something that we can actually relate to, right? And I just wanted to update this, and I'll have some resources in the comment or the description box for further review that you can read. And it's really deep. When you look at love from a more biological standpoint, you get to understand why there are intricacies there that aren't really easy to understand. Let's just face it, it's hard. And love definitely can hurt because it's a set of emotions. And so that's all I want to say for this video. So until next time, stay blessed.